So, where are you from? This is probably a question that everybody gets all the time, and it's probably the question that I've gotten most in my whole life. On this episode of Life of Chihiro, I'll be talking about third culture kids, what it was like to be one, and how it is as an adult now. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and let's get into today's episode. So in my life, I've been asked if I'm American, French, Filipino, Thai, you name it. Now my answer really depends on my mood, if I have time for it or not. My nationality is German and Japanese, my father being German and my mother being Japanese. But the long version is that I have been raised in 10 different countries all over the world until now, being 26 years old. Now my father worked as a hotel manager during the time that I was young, and he always changed the company due to a better deal or wanting to explore a different company or a country, anything like that. Officially on Google, third culture kids are people who were raised in a culture other than their parents or the culture of their country of nationality, and also live in a different environment during a significant part of their child development years. Nowadays, it's definitely more common as there are many interracial marriages and many jobs that require moving overseas multiple times. So now I'll talk about my journey of where I've lived and how long I've lived in each country. I was born in Fukuoka, Japan, and I lived there as a baby for 1 year. After that, we moved to New Delhi, India, and 2 of those countries I do not remember because that was until I was 3 or 4 years old. After that, we moved to Hong Kong and Shanghai, each living 2 years each, and my memory there is also a bit fuzzy, but I only remember a lot of tall buildings and maybe riding a bicycle for the first time. When I was 6 years old, we moved to Jakarta, Indonesia, and we spent 4 years there, which was the longest time that I've spent anywhere as a child. Now, Indonesia was so beautiful. My father is very adventurous, so often we would go to Bali before it was touristic, or go hiking up a huge mountain, or go kayaking, or whatever. My brother and I were going to a school called Jakarta International School, which was a really great school. It had so many after-school activities and so on. And in the summer, my mom would put me in Japanese school, so basically I didn't have summer holidays. I would have school all the time until I was 12 years old, and I told her, "Mom, I don't want to learn kanji anymore," which is the Japanese character writing. It was so difficult. Literally every year they give you a thick book of new kanji to learn. And learning English and Japanese, it was possible, but just not the whole writing part, I think. So after 4 wonderful years in Jakarta, Indonesia, we moved on to South Korea in Seoul. In Seoul, I was there in a Christian school for around 1 or 2 years, and I also went to a German school there, and my parents wanted to see if I could go to German school just to learn a little bit of the language to help out in the future. And a little side note, I grew up with English and Japanese at home. My father didn't speak to me in German, which I still give him shit for, because as a child you're like a sponge and it's really easy to learn languages when you're younger. At the age of 13 years old, we moved to Tianjin, China, where we spent 2 years. Now I spent 1 year in a British school and 1 year in an international school, which were both okay, but the country itself is definitely not one of my favorites, as it was quite polluted and there was not too much to do, to be honest. This was definitely the puberty time, so it was a difficult time for my whole family as well. Due to this, my father decided, let's get out of here, and we moved to Chiang Mai, Thailand. Now here I spent my high school years, and I graduated in 2016 from Lana International School. And that was really a nice time. Before Lana, I went to Prem, which is a different international school with an American system, but I wasn't too much of a fan of the IB system, so I decided to go for the A-level system, which was great because you can choose the subjects that you want to study in the last 2 years. In the end, I studied German, business, and art. Thailand is definitely one of my favorite countries because the people are so warm, the food is incredible, it's hot, and just the atmosphere, I just feel like home. After graduating high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I decided to take a gap year and go to Melbourne, Australia, where I worked as a waitress for a year. Now, I had no work experience, so it was very difficult to find a job in the first place, but once I did, I'm very proud to say that I went from $15 an hour to $25 an hour by the end of my journey. I worked in multiple restaurants, Italian, Japanese, and a nice cafe as well. Towards the end of my gap year, I decided that I really wanted to pursue being a tattoo artist, but unfortunately my dad fell ill with cancer, so my parents decided to move from Thailand to Germany to get better medical treatment. And I really wanted to be there for my family, so I decided to move as well. After 3 months of living at home, I was looking for an apprenticeship and I decided to move to Würzburg, Germany, where I spent 1 year working. Now, Würzburg was also amazing. I really improved my German there, which I'm really happy about. Working in a restaurant every day really helped to force yourself to use the language. Then I found my tattoo apprenticeship in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and decided to move there. Now, before I moved there, I said I really want to make this work, and I wanted to create a base for myself as an adult to decide that I want to live here for at least 5 years and create my own base as a 20-year-old. Fast forward to 5 years later, I've done that now, and I'm really happy that it's my home and I feel really comfortable there, but I'm really looking for the next adventure, so I'm going to be going to Asia again and seeing what job opportunities are there, and if not, I'll come back and settle in the Netherlands. So now I'll be talking about the pros and the cons of living in so many different countries at a young age. All in all, my conclusion is that after 10 countries, going to American schools, British schools, international schools, Christian schools, German and Japanese schools, I have to say that I will be talking about the struggles now. So of course, as a child, when you're growing up, you have to make new friends again, you have a new school, you have a new atmosphere, and you always have to adjust yourself to it. So it was not as difficult for me, I would have to say, than my brother, for example. I was always looking forward to the new adventure. Of course, I was sad to leave my friends, but in the airplane, I would remember just looking forward to what's next and being really excited about it. On the other hand, as an adult, it's a little bit different because you do realize that it has had a huge impact on you. Now, I always thought that I had dealt with it quite well, but when I was around 24, I realized that it was not really the case, and there was something like a big hole inside of me where I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere and that I could easily make friends. I kind of felt like it was a bit useless to make friends because it's so much effort, and if you know that you might move again and you're not sure you're going to settle somewhere, then you're kind of like, well, what's the point then? I will just be saying goodbye again. But after living 4 years in the Netherlands, I finally overcame that step and told myself it's definitely worthwhile to build friendships, because no matter where you go, you can still have contact because we have the internet now. It's much easier. And, you know, if you ever travel somewhere, you can meet up again. I think as an adult, it's definitely helpful to do a little bit of therapy to help you realize where you are, where you're from, and what's really meaningful to you as your own home. For me, I realized that home is my own self, and it's not a place, but actually me and the people that I'm with, people that I love, my family and my friends. And I would say that the benefits of moving so much is that you have a lot of experience and you are easily adaptable to your scenarios, your situations, and maybe you even seek new things, new challenges. So I really like that part of myself where I always keep on wanting to grow or challenge myself in different areas of my life. So these are all my experiences after 26 years of moving in so many different countries, and I do have to say I'm really happy with these experiences. I think it's really given me an opportunity to have an open mind with different cultures and people. If you are a third culture kid yourself, or if you have any experiences, let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!